the close corners, like you said, those choke points that the utility can be thrown out through. But it's going to be this split push. And we actually see Mafia already postured, most of the rotations going over towards A. Instinct is getting onto B site, but Dim Sum Boy's able to take down 2 here. Spike has yet to go down, and Instinct is just alone on site, low HP.
Yeah, that 9 health is not going to be helping Instinct at all, but do have that Sky to be able to at least help, but Ren's just being peeked around the corner. The jiggle peeking is not helping out. It is a 3v4 scenario here for Mafia, so Mafia does have that upper hand, but it seems like already the aggression is coming out from Screwface, and Ren's around the corner with 22 health. Maybe being able to take out Dynamic here, but as it is, Dynamic's gonna pull a little bit of a leg breaker, and it's not gonna help the team out.
That was tough. At the end there, that could have been anybody's round with the health of both players that were up, but first round on the board is going to go to Mafia. We are going to see that Spectre buy up as well. Playing this right, second round should go towards Mafia as well, considering the gun advantage. I like that C9 is going for the save to guarantee those rifles in round 3, guarantee that economy and not risk, you know, buying up and losing and putting themselves at an even greater round loss. And it's going to be greatly an A push where they're looking to overwhelm with numbers here.
Oh, and that's pretty good. Jerk already waiting around, trying to at least get that spray down, and it's already over for C9 Academy. I mean, what can you do? A really good hold coming down there, especially by Jerk. Being able to get that 4K down was actually, that 3K I believe, was huge, especially with that Spectre. But I mean, you had pistols on the other side. There wasn't really anything C9 Academy could have done.
I mean, I disagree. I think there are a lot of different ways C9 could have played that round out. All things considered, they could have gone for that default pistol eco round, try and get some guns out of the hands of Mafia, but elected to kind of get that eco round over with and funnel themselves through this one choke point. But that wall is going to come out B main pretty early. Glyph able to take it down right away, put a little bit of pressure on B main. But it's largely a default this time around from C9.
Boys is trying to peek around the corner, try to get a pick at least, but Instinct having those instincts that someone's going to be able to peek out of ropes, and right there it is. That Raze util that we've been wanting to see some damage being taken down. Although Poise is going to be replaced. Right now it does seem like one enemy remaining, and C9 Academy is going to get their first win on the board. It was looking pretty good for Mafia in the beginning, but, you know, C9 Academy just really took over.
That's the way she goes on round 3 when you have the rifles, right? I mean, you can pull some crazy ecos out of your pocket, but for the most part, if everything's played the way it should be round 3 should go to that gun advantage. We are going to see that operator, though, coming out pretty early on the side of Mafia. I'm interested to see if it is going to have a lot of impact in the hands of Dynamic, and considering the fact that C9, is postured up for this A push, it could be huge.
Ooh. Dynamic is not going to be able to get a pick through with that operator. Some of that util is going to be blocking, but Poise is going to be going in with that aggression. Being able to take out Jerk is going to be huge. No more controller smokes. They do still have Viper, but you can't really replace the smokes that are already given at this point in time.
So we have 4v5 retake here. Trailblazer is going to come out to clear elbow. Going to be pushing somebody out. I'm so surprised to see Dynamic take that peek with the operator out to Raptors there. Oh, a nice shot off Ren's through the smoke. It's a 4v2 situation now, though, Gompers.
That was like the cleanest one-tap through a smoke I've seen. It was like, you know, they knew exactly where the opposing player was, but right now Dynamic's about to do another aggressive peek. I don't know if it's gonna work out. The classic and the run and gun by Instinct. Oh my, Instinct is truly just going off instinct right now. I feel like it's like watching a dog play around with their toys and just having a little bit of fun. But, you know, that went pretty south for Mafia. They were having, you know, that that pick being taken by Dynamic was huge, but in the end, you know, Dynamic not being able to get that pick off of Instinct was definitely the downfall.
Yeah, I think it was also tough considering the fact that Dynamic wasn't able to save that operator either. You know, Dynamic and Dim Sum Boy going for those exit frags, but being in that kind of tough situation where Screens was being contested to run away from the bomb the spike, sorry, that was about to go off. And we are going to see, you know, this default back again. Poise, though, is going to get that opening pick on Dynamic, and it is an eco round, though, for C9 Academy. Just keep that in mind, folks.
Dynamic is not in a good position, but it seems like Janitor's going to be able to get one with that shotgun. I don't know how much they can be able to get, but it does seem like that Phantom is going to the hands of Janitor. If they're going to pick it up, maybe they're going to they're going to hand it over to the Sky there.
I like the wall that came out to be able to secure the gun, able to grab that rifle, put it in the hands of C9 Academy. Or sorry, of Mafia. 3v4 situation here. I mean, we do see this really great angle that I believe Jerk has in main. We know that is going to be pushed. And Janitor's just cleaning up with the judge right now. Another round on the board, going towards Mafia. 3-2 now. A really, really great eco coming out from Mafia there. It should... Oh. The fact that they just pushed in C9 Academy, pushed into that judge, once in heaven, the repositioning to take that B main angle instead. They weren't, I think they were probably expecting Janitor to have picked up that Phantom instead of maybe handing it off to Wubby like they did, but caught off guard. Really great trades going out on the side of Mafia as well. So huge for their eco as far as things go, and that tool de false is going to come out in Poise's hands.
Ooh. Oh, Janitor was in a really bad position. That gravity well just grabbed Janitor right off their wall, and they could not do anything about it. But luckily, Wubby's in a good position. Although, gonna be shooting that down now. It's gonna give some information to Instinct there, but Dynamic is having a 1v1 here with Screwface trying to at least back off the players. It does seem like right now Mafia isn't really allowing C9 Academy to get that aggression onto site, and I like that. It's working very well.
Yeah, they are just holding steadfast. We are going to see this flank coming out through sewers, and even if it's not committed to, if we don't see Dynamic actually committing to this flank, which it looks like they will be, regardless, it's a great amount of information that has been gathered for Mafia. That Viper's Pit coming out to contest B Heaven, be able to take site here, forcing Wubby to back off to stairs play, retake with their team, but Dim Sum Boy and one other on Mafia are still poised on the B site right now.
We do have Dynamic trying to get a flank around on Chamber, but that utility is just surrounding it right now. C9 Glyph is going to be able to get 2 down. Wubby's trying their best to be able to contest the site here, but Dynamic's going to be left alone, not being able to get that flank around. It's just going to be one less player on the site. That's going to leave Dynamic having to clutch up those 13 seconds. Spike isn't down yet, though. I mean, it's definitely... Dynamic's definitely capable of getting this retake down. The only problem is, you know, with that Chamber utility, I mean, how easy is it going to be?
I'm wondering if this flank is going to be fast enough that C9 Academy doesn't make, you know, the guess that Dynamic did go for this loop around. But they have made the read. They're posted up for that double peek there, and Poise is going to get that final kill with the tool de false. Tying it up. 3-3 now. It's a tight game so far, but Mafia does have 3 ultimates online.
Yeah, that could definitely help clutch up the round. I like the, you know, utility usage with Wubby trying to at least get that entry onto site for that retake. I think that definitely helped the team out, but, you know, not being able to close it off in the end is just going to leave Mafia with a bad taste in their mouth. Although, like you said, the 3 ultimates here might be able to help out Mafia get that retake and, you know, try to at least stop this momentum of back and forth.
I do think Jerk is probably going to have to pull out that Cosmic Divide, either for the retake, for some slowing power. It's not going to come out early, though. And the Blade Storms, I don't know if Dynamic does see Screwface, who is, you know, posted up in main already, able to get one. 5v4 situation now, Gompers.
Dynamic is an aggressive peeker. Although it works out in the end, Instinct, though, is going to be able to touch the toes of Dynamic, be able to yank him down right now. Instinct is in a very good position to be able to take out Hubby. The Jiggle Peek is working out just fine, but that resurrection is coming through. Ray's Util being able to at least get some damage in. But right now, we do have C9 Academy at a disadvantage for the players here, Ash.
That indeed. Stuck. And, oh, actually, Poise has that flank able to take down Dynamic. No one was expecting them in ropes there, but they do have to recover the spike still. Luckily, no eyes are quite on it. But time is ticking. Converse, I mean, there's 30 seconds left on the clock after spike is retrieved. C9 Academy is going to be forced to commit to A here.
Dim Sum has sight. This sight control might just be able to help out. I mean, 16 seconds just being able to cancel that spike plane is going to be huge. And right now, Dim Sum is going to be able to get that 2K to close off the round. 4-3 Mafia. I believe they still have 2 ultimates here. They could use that.
Yeah, we saw that Blade Storm come out. We saw the Resurrection come out, but we do have the Cosmic Divide still available in the hands of Jerk, as well as the Viper's Pit is now online for Dim Sum Boy. However, Glyph also has that Cosmic Divide available. Unlikely that we will see it come out this round, considering that it is an eco round for C9 Academy. However, you know, if C9 can manage to maybe get 2 picks off of Mafia, the Cosmic Divide could still be really useful, but they'd likely be better off saving it for the next round. And that Trailblazer is going to seek out Dynamic, forcing them to use that tailwind to back off.
Instinct was getting ready there to throw that paint shell down. Maybe able to throw it down here, but it's not going to do anything. This is very difficult, especially with that wall. But, I mean, the Race Util just kind of destroyed it, so at this point, that push could definitely come through, but it is not easy with Janitor and Wubby just waiting around the corner.
No, but I do like that C9 Academy is playing this round a little bit more slowly, playing more of that default positioning here, default towards mid. You do see the spike kind of creeping up. That Guiding Light's going to get some information, though. And I like that the space in B Heaven is being given up so far, just playing this anti-eco quite well, not risking giving any guns too prematurely to the side of the C9 Academy. However,
ooh, right there, Viper's Pit coming out. That's gonna really take away from A site. Now C9 Academy has to be able to settle for B. Although a lot of the players are surrounding themselves down B, and Janitor's gonna have a whiff. That's gonna be leaving Glyph with 2 kills here. And that's gonna allow at least the take on to site, getting that spike down to 13 seconds. Dim Sum Boy is trying to at least close down, and right now that spike is not coming down. That's gonna leave Screwface having to save that operator. An operator on attack on split is very interesting though, Ash.
it is interesting, but we do have that chamber pick in particular on the side of C9 Academy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we did see it going into, you know, Poise's hands, all things considered. But it looks like Screwface is going to be holding on to that for now. And another operator is going to come out on the side of Mafia as well. But this was just such a great hold on the side of Mafia as far as things go. I mean, the anchoring on sites is something that they've done very well. You don't see Mafia over-rotating too much. They are holding these default defensive positions, which I do really like. And I find this Viper wall, though, on A site quite interesting, to be completely honest. Just blocking off A main as well. And just a lot of action's going to go out mid. Janitor's going to clean up with 1, but Poise is there to reply with a trade. 4v4 situation already.
Oh! Just the classic from Glyph. Glyph has been getting some really nice shots through.
Yeah.
Being able to get those picks down is definitely a huge, huge play. But C9 Academy does have that player advantage, and right now Glyph is just going to be proving my point even further. Having that operator is going to be proving me wrong as well as to why you should have an operator on attack, I guess, if you're just as good as Glyph. But right now, that's just Dim Sum Boy and Dynamic by themselves trying to get this retake down. I don't know if it's going to work out. I mean, the spike is already almost over.
I think it's going to be a save situation here, maybe going for some exit frags as far as everything goes. I know, Eco might not be looking too great for this 4v2 situation, And Dim Sum Boy does also have the full shields available, won't need to, buy up once again. And the fact that Dynamic has that operator, they don't want to be stuck in that situation, losing it just at the end, like previous round that we saw.
Ooh.
Tying it up closer and closer. I mean, it's been pretty round for round so far, Gompers. 5-4 now. C9 Academy looking to catch up to Mafia. Yep, we've got the scuffed eco on the side of Mafia right now. Those 2 hero guns that were saved and the full shields will be huge. We are going to likely see that buy up as well. And I think Jerk is likely going to have to pull out the Cosmic Divide. And hopefully Wubby is able to secure a kill or farm an Ultorb to get the Seekers online as well, just to make this force up worth it for Mafia to be able to, contest this round with the guns that they have available.
But it definitely won't be easy, especially with Glyph having that operator. Right now, though, Dim Sum's getting pretty aggressive, but Dynamic's just going to be better. Taking out Instinct. And a wide swing coming out from Dim Sum Boy. That's going to be able to get one, leaving this 4v3. Already trying to aggress onto A site. Some utils coming through, but not a lot, not enough. And it's just going to leave A site. Yeah, A site's just going to go over to C9. This is going to be a pretty good retake, especially with Janitor coming around the corner here. There is Dog, so that information is coming through. That is definitely not a place you want to be peeking.
No, but Plant still has yet to go down. C9 Academy is trying to bait this Plant out right now. That Astrogravity Well is just going to miss, and Dynamic with the quick scopes on the operator is just annihilating right now. But Jerk with that A Heaven flank, able to take down the last player on C9 Academy. Great retake on the side of Mafia. I like the fact that, even though it was a very aggressive push into elbow and a tough situation to be in, considering the fact that we did see the Sage Wall coming out from screens there to block off the rest of the line of sight on A site. So, I mean, everyone on C9 Academy who was up at that time knew that Mafia was funneling themselves through elbow, stuck in kind of that sticky situation there, nowhere else really to go. But the quick scopes have just been too powerful. And then the diversity of having that judge as well, getting up close and personal. We are going to see this timeout coming up from C9 Academy, just revisiting their attacking strategy as far as things go. And I don't know, Mafia has been a pretty iron wall so far as far as their defense goes. They do a really, really good job with anchoring. Their retakes can sometimes use a little bit of work. I do know, I've noticed that some players on Mafia, I know Dim Sum Boy, like you said, that wide swing through the toxic screen was a bit ambitious as far as things go. And sometimes it's worth it and it pays off, but I think that there is the risk that Mafia could allow C9 Academy to tie things up if they start to play a bit more like that, take those aggressive peaks into, 2 or more players on C9 Academy losing somebody early on, especially a player like Dim Sum Boy, the Viper utility, acts so much like a sentinel on defense, having that toxic screen, the poison cloud that can go up and down and just deny areas. And there's just going to be a lot of action coming out in B main here. Trades 1-for-1 so far.
I feel like an iteration I'm seeing is C9 tends to get aggressive. They lose their player, they back off, and they always have Screwface being that lurking, that lurking player to at least try to get some information, those picks. But now this leads to those 2 controllers being lost. They don't have any of those smokes to be able to obscure the vision of Mafia, and that's just going to be leading to this showstopper coming out, and that Seeker's trying to at least get that stun through, but C9 Instinct is walking around trying to at least find Janitor. Is it going to be enough? It is not. That's going to leave Janitor with 1. And another with only a slither of health to be working off of Ash. There is, maybe if Instinct had at least run, tried to look for the players, regardless, and not hidden in that corner, it definitely would have maybe been Janitor being taken down instead.
That has got to be a feels bad for Instinct to have pulled out that showstopper, not have it connect really. I mean, it connected a bit, the damage did get off, but ultimately did not land the kill on Janitor, and to lose the rest of your team due to not having cleared tower like that is definitely an unfortunate spot to be in. But C9 Academy is on this forced save. force up buy, but they can't buy much. It's pretty scuffed. For this last round is definitely tough, and we're gonna see an early Viper's Pit coming out from Screwface, just trying to take a bit of control of A and maybe bait out a rotation from Mafia. And the Toll de False is gonna come out in the hands of Poise as well.
A gift.
That Viper's Pitch trying to at least gain some of that A site. But Sky's just hiding in it right now on the side of Mafia. We do have Screwface with a shorty. Screwface could possibly be able to get one here, especially if Webby peeks around the corner, but Screwface is playing it safe, especially in the smokes. Right now, gonna be able to get one, but wait a second!
No
the
way!
The reaction time difference was there.
No way!
There is no way.
Someone didn't caffeinate this morning, I guess. Is maybe what happened
It's the coffee.
in that Viper's Pit. Yeah. I cannot believe that Wubby managed to get those 2 picks off, and Poise is just going to be pushing in aggressively onto A site, and this crossfire is going to take down C9 Instinct. Spike on A site as well, and no entry power really left from C9 Academy right now.
Ooh. Yeah, I really like that. I think one of the problems here that Mafia isn't really facing these problems with C9 White is, C9 White, C9 Academy, not C9 White, but C9 Academy is just facing these problems where, when they were on the attack previously, they just continuously tried to push the site, and then they got scared, but then they tried to push again, but then they got scared, and then they just kept peeking 1v1 and giving these 1v1 takes, and in the end, it just kind of led to Mafia having, the better. But now we're going to see C9 on the defensive side, and that's possibly going to change. I mean, they do have a really nice composition for the defense, especially with that chamber, so it definitely might be a little bit harder getting onto the sites or possibly getting that mid control as we see Poises surrounding their utility.
To be honest, I didn't feel like I saw enough ultimates coming out from either side, all things considered. I thought we were going to see those cosmic divides come out, and did one even come out during that half gompers? I don't think so. So that utility usage is definitely questionable to me, and I think there's just that lack of coordination coming out from C9 Academy right now, but there's going to be a lot of fighting for mid control here. This paint shell is going to do a lot of damage on Dynamic, and Poise is just going to get that early pick off with the Headhunter.
Ugh. It's a classic showdown here. Right now, we do see Dim Sum Boy versus C9 Instinct, but Dim Sum's just gonna win some. That's gonna lead to that entry on just side, but Poise is just gonna get taken. Dim Sum's on a roll here. What can you really do? You're just getting plowed down by a guy who is literally just, Viper duelist.
And so it's taking this aggressive push into CT as well, probably hunting for the potential ace that they could put under their belt, but will be met with 2 here. Able to get a clean headshot off of Ren's 4K for Dim Sum Boy. Glyph, though, here to clutch it out in this 1v3.
Oh, we know how good Glyph is. That's gonna be 1, that's gonna be 2! No! That's a 3K coming down right now. C9 Academy has to be able to win this round. That's gonna allow them to be able to buy next round, and right now, Jerk is gonna have a really nice counter strafe, especially with that frenzy. That's gonna lead to Mafia being able to buy the next round. And we said C9 Academy might be able to take this through, but it is looking a lot like Mafia has the upper hand on a map like Split.
I just don't even have words. I can't believe Glyph managed to get those kills off in screens with the double swing. That was happening in CT there, but a really great read on Jerk as well, as far as setting down those Ash Stars on Rafters, having that gravity well pulled in, and Screwface is gonna delay with the snake bite here. But it's gonna be a pretty aggressive push onto the A site. Dynamic already taking that Heaven control.
Whoa! No, we're gonna get 3K. I'm liking the aggression. This is what C9 Academy started in the beginning on their pistol rounds when they were on the attack, but then they just slowly kind of started to cower, and they got scared. But Mafia just does not care. Knowing that they have pistols, knowing that they possibly have shares definitely is a plus, especially when Mafia has those Spectres. But generally, you can see nobody on the side of Mafia is scared of anything.
No, they definitely have that entry power that C9 Academy was lacking on the attack. Like you said, I think C9 Academy just gave a little bit too much respect to Mafia in regards to their attacking strategy. Just lacked that aggression and the coordination as well. But dynamic force to be reckoned with, this aggressive Jet player making the way onto site, creating that space for their team to be able to push on is incredibly important on the attacking side. If you don't have a player who's able to create that space for you, you're really not going to get too far, and that's the issue that we saw C9 Academy run into, is the lack of map control. And there's going to be a lot of Astra utility coming out mid here, though.
I'm liking Dynamic's util, though. Being able to reposition themselves and try to get a little bit closer is definitely going to be huge, but right there, there's going to be a teleport coming through. Dynamic is a little bit confused, knowing that there was a TP, not exactly knowing where anybody is. But Ash, I mean, it's looking like a very slow push here.
Slow push, but I think it's a nice change from the explosiveness that we've seen come out as well. They're wasting a lot of the stalling util that comes from C9 Academy right now, not leaving them much to fend off Mafia with when the actual aggressive push comes in. Dynamic really just likes to play these mind games with all the sound cues.
I mean, I like it. I like, you know, the smokes coming through. I like everything Dynamic's doing. The utility usage there is, you can see the diversity of how you can use your utility, but right there it does seem like it's just going to be an aggression from Wubby. That's just going to leave for 30 seconds left. That spike has to be planted pretty soon. And that Wubby's just on a roll. That's going to leave Screwface by themselves. And having, you know, some of their util down, they could possibly use that snake bite to try to get some damage through.
Some really good triple right here. Screwface able to clutch out that 1v1. The 1v1 situation. Oh! Not the knife!
No way!
You hate to see it. You actually hate to see it.
It was, I feel like one of those moments is just like, oh yeah, my gun, I'm just gonna bring it out real quick, and the knife just pops out instead, and you're just sitting there like, wow, I am quitting the game, I'm uninstalling.
Screwface, if you watch back and listen to this, please know that I thank you for actually going guns blazing and sticking to swinging your knife out instead of trying to pull out the rifle. I think that was very valiant of you.
You never know. Maybe you can just get the kill with the knife instead. It's 100 IQ.
When you have a Jet dashing at you like that, it's not that unlikely. But Dynamic's just gonna have that explosive entry onto the B site already once again. And everyone at C9 Academy is just dropping like flies.
I really like, you know, the dynamic has going. I mean, being able, just entering with the classic in general was something you don't see every day, especially when you have a Vandal in your hand, but Janitor's just going to be aggressing through, and Mafia's just really dominating on the attack. They were doing extremely well on the defense, but I feel like attack might just be Mafia's side.
Maybe, but you know, I wouldn't even be surprised if, considering how scared C9 Academy was almost playing on the attacking side when Mafia was defending, they could probably feel that kind of energy coming from C9 Academy and realize that, you know what, maybe we just try and take this pretty aggressively, see how they respond to this, but trying to save out this Vandal. Screwface is just kind of cornered right here. Turn these into 1v1 situations, and oh, it's gonna walk into that 3-person peek. Lose that gun, and it is match point now.
Match point.
I think one of the hardest things that you can talk about here is just the fact that C9 Academy just does not have any of the Sentinels that could really help with the aggression onto site. I mean, you do have Chamber, but you also have Jet. You have Dynamic on the other side who literally just dashes in. So you can't really do anything. I mean, you would either need a Sage to be able to get those slows down, possibly a wall, or maybe even a Killjoy to have those turrets be able to slow Dynamic, you know, on their aggression onto site. But there's nothing you can really do except for try to get aggressive here, which is exactly what Poise is going to be doing, Ash. It's just not. It's not looking good. I mean, already. No. What do you do in this situation? It is literally, I feel like, I didn't even know what happened. My face is red. Much of an effect as, you possibly would want it to. It really did help out on the lurks when they were on split for C9 Academy, but I don't exactly know how well it's going to work out, especially with Killjoy being that sentinel, but Poise is already waiting around the corner, going to be able to get 3.
No way!
4 for Poise in the beginning of the rounds. It's just closing off already. The first point on the board going to C9 Academy.
They're here to start it off with a bang, considering how split ended, to be completely honest. That was nuts from Poise and Instinct there to be able to follow up with the last kill. Unfortunately, Poise didn't get that ace, but as you were saying...
Yeah, I mean, what? I feel like that's a what moment. You don't really know what to say. But, I mean, Poise going to be able to buy a Phantom. Of course. I mean, you just got a 4K pretty free there. So, this Phantom might just be able to help out the team. I don't know how much Mafia can do here unless we want to play for those close corners, possibly be able to pick out. If they can be able to pick out Poise there, they might just be able to get that Phantom, but Screwface is just going to be able to take one out. Already a 4v5 here.
I do want to go back on what you mentioned about the chamber not having too much of an impact on split. I want to point out that it is in fact Screwface on the chamber this time around rather than seeing Poise on it like we did during the last match. So the playstyles are probably going to be different. And just to see if Ren's able to get that first initial pick off, but might not be able to, able to grab the second on Janitor as well. Getting some more information, knowing that there are 2 agents now posted up outside of Garage and Grass, and they're kind of in a sticky situation here, the Mafia, in this 2v5.
Oh, I mean, with this being remaining. Attacker-sided map, Poise, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? I feel like we're seeing a lot of tomfoolery here. Poise just jump peeking, getting that nice headshot down. Interesting. I wish my comp games went like that, but, not for everyone. We're going to see Poise going that 6-1. Poise is completely dominating here on the pistol rounds. I want to see that same energy come in, especially now that Mafia has these rifles, though.
I think what's nice is that we are seeing a change in the mentality of C9 Academy. I don't know if it's the map it's themselves or if there's like maybe a pep talk that happened behind the scenes that, we don't have the privilege to kind of listen in on, but I am liking, like you said, this change in energy, the confidence that we're seeing coming out from C9 Academy that they're lacking on split, which was their map pick. And that alarm bot, though, is going to catch out Poise, get that information, but I like the pressure that is now being added on the flank from C9 Academy, even if it's not committed to. All the space that was taken in A lobby there is huge as far as information goes, and allowing the rest of C9 Academy to rotate over towards B, towards C and Garage, since, they'll have that early info from Poise to know if Mafia is taking that rotation over towards A, and they're just still going to posture up for this C split.
I mean, like you said it. I do like that alarm bot, though, just because it really does show that Mafia is reading very well into the movement that C9 Academy might be doing here. But, I mean, as we know it, Dynamic's just going to be pushing straight through, and this retake definitely might not be easy, but Dynamic is just running in already. Going to be able to get a couple here. That's just going to be leaving Poise all by their lonesome, getting that flank in. I mean, they possibly might already know, especially since that alarm bot gave off the location, but might just be able to get a couple here for Poise.
We are seeing this ping, though, over towards Garage, but make some noise too long here. Not able to quite get that last frag down. Janitor is going to close it out for Mafia. First point on the board for them on their rifling round. They did lose 2, though, so I'm not sure if full rifles will be able to get... Yeah, they will be able to come out with the eco situation, but I would like to see this time around maybe Janitor fighting to get that orb on... Probably the A long orb, if anything, to get those Seekers up and running as soon as possible, which is a huge ultimate as far as grabbing information on whether it's on defense or on attack on a map like Haven, like I said. Getting that kind of info, or whether it's early on, mid-round, is huge as far as being able to call for those rotations and whatnot, but it's going to be a straightforward C hit this time around.
Ooh, already. I mean, I think something we could have talked about a little bit is that Mafia being that really aggressive blitz kind of attack, that might really help, especially on a map like Haven. We discussed, this is an attacker-sided map. And this is going to be very hard for C9 Academy, especially with Mafia having those guns out. It's just going to be hard for C9 Academy to be able to take these rounds in, but right now it is a save round. They do have the operator.
It is going to be a save round. It's pretty crazy the fact that, like you said, Mafia can just blitz onto a site like that, and C9 Academy is not even going to try and contest this retake in this 3v5 situation, which normally you might consider doing it, but like you said, with an operator in hand, it's really not worth the risk of losing that gun, especially on a map like Haven. All these long angles that you can hold with the sniper rifle, and Dynamic is hunting though, you know, for a frag, but players on C9 Academy are just kind of holding. You're chilling. Oh, and Poise is gonna repeat that fall just last minute. 2-2 now. We do see Dynamic has the Blade Storms available. Likely we'll save it for an eco, but who knows? Maybe we do see, like you said, Dynamic is so aggressive that I wouldn't be surprised if the Blade Storms were even just pulled out on this buy round to get some crazy movement kills in as that Jet player. And then the Seekers are going to be huge on this attacking side from Janitor to be able to get that information. Push in.
Janitor trying to get some information through. I think one of the things that is interesting as well is that, you know, Screwface having that operator in hand.
I've got your trail.
Especially on the defense. With a team like Mafia, I feel like they counter it pretty well. Mafia, being that, you know, aggressive team pushing through, is going to be able to push back the players and leave for that retake for C9 Academy. But, I mean, right now we're seeing some information being given. Instinct trying to at least get a dart through.
Recon is gonna tag Janitor with the Owl Drone is gonna tag Janitor, pushing them off of site here, but I mean, C9 Academy still has this gun disadvantage with this spy here, but Screwface is gonna be good for that first kill. 2v5 situation.
Oh, yeah, not a lot you can do here. Jerk is trying to at least hold off some of that time, but yeah, it's just a 4-man watch on the spike. Mafia's not going to have an easy time. I did like what Mafia did, but, you know, they didn't have any control of sight. So that just left them funneling outside of it. And, I mean, everybody on C9 Academy knew, hey, this is where they are. We can kind of just hold it and wish for the best at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, when you're going for that B plant like this, you can play off of site, plant for the front of site, play window, play grass, and play the loop around garage as well. However, when you're up against a high ratio in retake there, considering the fact that 5 of the players of C9, everybody was up on C9 Academy for that retake, you can't back off of site like that. You do have to play those crossfires, unless you do have that heavy utility composition that can, you know, play for that post plant. But in this situation, it just really didn't make sense to back off and play that retake, considering that you could just have 5 players swinging B main, trying to, you know, get the defuse off while getting those picks. And Webby's gonna clear out a lobby. Nobody's pushed up aggressively on the side of C9 Academy this time around, and it's gonna be a grass kind of garage to be hit once again from the looks of it with that lurk towards C long.
It's just a very, very slow moment here. I think the only problem Mafia might be having, I think the aggression is great, but if they're going to go for another B site take again, they have to be able to try to hold this site. Screwface, though, is around the corner. Maybe using some of that smoke util to at least get something through is going to help, but already, I mean, Screwface being able to get that first initial pick is going to be leading into the take on to site for C9 Academy. And right now, multiple players just being dominated as they go. It is not looking good right now for Mafia. They have to be able to switch something up, because right now they're playing very typical, and they're just kind of, they're not using that util to the best of their ability. Maybe having some Asher Stars down to dismember the team of C9 Academy would have been huge, especially knowing that there's an operator on the other side.
It's also pretty difficult to take B site without a Sage, to be completely honest. There are so many retake points available on the B site that if you don't have that Sage wall to either wall across onto B, just split the site, or to just wall one of those, the A link or the C link, it's really difficult to hold and get set up for those crossfires because you can have a lot of pressure coming from all sides, you know, from the defenders. And I think this split push towards C will likely work out quite a bit better for Mafia, but C9 Academy is really finding their groove on the defense this time around, and the Hunter's Fury is going to come out to push those players out of Cubby.
Ooh, that's some really good damage from Instinct. Dynamic's just coming in with a classic. I love the classic play from Dynamic, but right now that lockdown is not going to be loving anybody on C9 Academy as much. It is looking like a lot of Vandals are being given, but Instinct is just really, really closing it down before that lockdown comes through. And I like that. A lot of people think you have to back off when the lockdown comes down, but as you can see, I mean, Instinct already going in trying to get those picks off. Leaving for that really strong retake. It's working out pretty well here.
One enemy remaining.
2v1 situation.
Enemy remaining.
Dim Sum Boy is able to get that 1v1.
Oh, Screwface is screwing up the face of Dim Sum for sure. That's gonna leave C9 Academy with a good taste in their mouth there. They're doing really well here, Ash. I mean, 5-2 coming from, you know, that 4-13 that they faced previously. They're feeling pretty good right now.
They're here to challenge Mafia. I mean, Mafia took their map pick, and I think C9 Academy is looking to take theirs and take it to Icebox in map 3 with the way things are going. Like I said before, I love this change of pace coming out from C9 Academy. There's a lot more confidence, and you can see the coordination is falling together and piecing itself together quite a bit better than we saw on Split. We are going to see, you know, the Seekers are available on runs. That's going to be huge, either for those retakes or, you know, if it's going to be a slow round coming out from Mafia to get that information pretty early on as far as where Mafia is planning on pushing here. And, oh, shot didn't quite land, but that rendezvous is going to allow Screwface to back off, play their life, and go get that heal, likely.
Ooh, Instinct is getting that thrown in. That information is coming through, but there's nothing you can really do. I think the best case scenario here, especially for C9, is to be holding the site. But that's exactly what they're going to be doing. They're not going to be moving around.
A bit of a slow creep up onto A here. Jenner able to get that refrag, creating a glyph. It's a 3v4 situation, but Spike has yet to be planted. We're going to see the shock dart lineups coming out, but they're not quite going to connect.
Ugh.
Spike planted.
That spike is going to be planted. Right now, Wubby and Jandor can hold a really mean cross hold here. And I mean, that util's already coming in. That Seekers isn't really going to get much information. With it being closed off on the choke point, that's just going to leave Jandor in a really good angle here. Possibly going to be able to get 2, and that's just going to work out just great. Mafia being able to close this round off really nice and clean.
I really like how Jandor played that as far as, you know, throwing that guiding light out, getting that information as the Seekers went out so that, you know, C9 Academy couldn't capitalize off of it. They're able to reposition themselves into the left corner as well after, you know, C9 saw that the guiding light coming from one side. Jandor able to use that time to reposition, and just slowing that retake was very well done, especially paired with the nanoswarm that we saw coming out from Dim Sum Boy. So, I mean, Mafia, name's still in the game. We're only 5-3 here. There's 4 rounds from swapping halves, so we'll see if Mafia is able to tie it up, or C9 Academy will be taking this map, or this half with the advantage. A lot of frags going out. Dynamic is going to get that first pick short.
Oh no. I like the double operator. C9 Academy had a double operator, you know, before that they were working, but right now it does seem like Screwface is just that operator player. I find it interesting. The lockdown came down for Mafia, but they're not going to aggress off that. They're just going to rotate on to the opposite site. But, I mean, you're going to rotate. Everybody on C9 Academy is going to know that that's coming through already. I mean, it's going to be literally the same thing that you had on A site coming over to C, and it's going to be just as hard.
4v2 now. It's going to be a hard retake for... Oh, and Poise is going to fall just like that. Able to take one down for themselves, but 3v1 Screwface operator in hand might elect for exit frags or a save. Instead, yeah, we are going to see them backing off. through CT, and it looked pretty promising for C9 Academy. I'm not gonna lie, the fact that they got that read off, were able to make that rotation towards C and meet Mafia there, but really unfortunate that they kind of funneled themselves through CT spawn, trying to get onto C to contest the plant, and just kind of got picked off one by one, leaving Screwface alone in this situation. But nobody's gonna hunt for him this time around. Allow him to save his operator in peace, and another round will be going to Mafia. It'll be 5-4 now once the spike does defuse or go off.
Yes, once the spike is diffused.
Okay, you know what I meant.
But no, I mean, as it goes, C9 Academy does have that 5-4 lead, so they're not really worried about it too much. They still do have the economy for those 3 rifles, but it is going to be harder. I feel like you would really have to heavily rely on one of your players on C9 Academy to be able to frag out, especially in this round. If they can't do that, and if they're incapable, you know, I don't know how well this is going to work out, but I like how Screwface kind of handed the operator over to Glyph, said, here you go, you can handle this for today. I'm just going to kind of get aggressive here with my headhunter, see if I can get a couple.
Dynamic's taking a lot of garage control here. That Trailblazer cleared out quite a bit and got a lot of information for Mafia. Dynamic always taking these aggressive angles, like never afraid of a Dame duel. There's gonna be a lot of util actually thrown, putting some poke on Dynamic. It's a 5v5 for this retake situation. Trailblazers clearing out garage, clearing out grass for some info, but Boys only has 1 knife left in their arsenal.
Shock dart coming through, trying to get some damage, but a spray through down in garage and a lurk from Dim Sum. It's going to be working out really, really nicely for Mafia. They're going to be able to close this out 5-5, especially in these rounds. Save coming through. I think, you know, maybe the operator's kind of not helping out C9 as much. I mean, we're seeing a lot of saves coming out from C9 because of the operator, and we're not seeing a lot of aggression on the retakes.
I mean, I can understand why the save came out that particular round with how the scuffed the buy was. They wouldn't be able to afford full guns this time around. But I do agree that, I mean, an operator can be a force to be reckoned with. It can be a huge Hail Mary for your team. Has a lot of stopping power on defense. It has a lot of power on attack as well in the right hands. However, it doesn't seem like it's paying off for C9 Academy right now. And I think it might be better off to cut your losses in this situation here. But Screwface is going to be left with the headhunter here, not able to connect though. And Dynamic's so aggressive getting onto site.
Oh, and it was a jet on jet battle, but Boys is going to be able to win it right there. And Lurk, a little flank coming through. That's going to leave 2 for Janitor. It is a 3v2, though. I don't know how well Mafia is going to be able to hold this site, but possibly? You know, there's not a lot of util to be working off of here, though, Ash.
No, but I don't think C9 Academy knows that Mafia is still on site here. Oh, but with that sound cue, Wubby is going to try and get that plant down. Rotation's going to come through garage instead of going through C-Link there, but they're going to hear this drop.
The information is coming through, but that's just going to leave Dim Sum all by their lonesome. Not a lot you can do there, losing, you know, that one player that had more health than you. I feel like definitely playing together there would have been the key, but, you know, trying to get that information through was definitely just as important. C9 Academy, though, they're going to be able to take this 6-5. Mafia's putting up a fight.
Honestly, I thought what was going to happen was that I was hoping Mafia was just going to cut noise for a few more seconds, hopefully bait out a rotation back towards A from C9 Academy, leaving maybe 1 member left on C to see if it is going to be a rehit if they are still on site. Didn't quite happen. The plant went down a bit earlier than I was expecting personally, and I think that was hard because Mafia was not able to set up for a good crossfire, be in, you know, perfect positioning to make the holds on the post plant a lot stronger. And Boys are just gonna look away from that guiding light.
Ooh, it's a very slow push for Mafia here. They are very good at getting onto site, getting that spike down, but I feel like the main issue is just, you know, just holding it for that post plant. They had a fun time with it previously, but I feel like unfortunately, as time went on, C9 Academy just kind of started reading a little bit more into Mafia, and slowly started settling and feeling like they knew exactly what Mafia was doing. But right now, Screwface having that operator back in their hands might be able to help just as much. But the aggression, it's coming out. There's a blitz attack onto site, and that's gonna leave Dynamic trying to get some picks down. Dynamic's feeling hungry here, Ash.
Dynamic's always feeling hungry with the aggressive pushes that are coming, but Screwface is anticipating Dim Sum to be lurking around grass once again, but hiding in cubby this time around.
Ooh. I like the aggression coming through from Dynamic, but the operator in the face is definitely not going to feel good. Seeker's coming through, and that's just going to lead to a massacre for C9 White here. Mafia is going to be able to take this through. It is 6-6. That's going to leave this half being very equal. Now, I mean, Ash, if I'm going to be completely honest, I think Dim Sum with the Killjoy is going to be extremely helpful. A little bit more helpful than Screwface here, especially on the defense.
Yeah, I mean, the Killjoy utility, especially if it's set up the way that I might have in mind. I do like usually putting, that alarm bot or a turret on B site, kind of playing retake on B, considering the retake is easiest on B site in particular, and then setting up for that garage and doubling up on C. Like we are actually seeing the setup going out here is definitely one of the best ones for those quick rotations and to be able to support each other as much as possible on such a large map. But like I really thought Janitor was going to die that last round in Garage, to be honest. But moving on, Poise is going to take this aggressive angle already.
Here.
Through short, trying to lurk up, maybe get a pick or two.
Ooh. And right there, we're seeing a iteration of Poise in Dynamic. Dynamic's getting aggressive off the get-go on the defense. I feel like the switch is definitely going to be helpful for both sides, just simply because of the chamber coming out from Screwface. That might be able to help with aggression coming onto site, getting those picks and then TPing out. But, I mean, right here, Dim Sum's trying to at least get some damage through. The damage is done, but Jerk, not knowing that aggression is coming through, and right there, Rubby is going to be able to take 3 in this pistol round. Screwface with the headhunter. It's coming down. That corner is not being peeked. I don't know how well this is going to work out. And, I mean, Wubby's just going to be able to take this 4K down.
Unfortunately, I think Screwface just ran out of bullets at the end there and with the headhunter. Didn't quite purchase enough, or it used up the ones that were purchased. But it's going to be this force-up coming out. And I think Dynamic is going to elect to actually go with a ghost instead and save for an early operator in round 3. Try and get that bit of a game-changing gun, especially in Dynamic's hands. But actually looks like there may have been a last-minute Ares buy there. But Wubby totally cleaned up, this past round. Like, huge frags coming out, that positioning on logs. And initially I thought it was going to be around Lost Force, an Academy and a Janitor with that pop flash is going to take down their double.
Ooh, and that was a nice one. That first pick is going to be huge for the side of Mafia. I mean, they lost their main initial flashes, and that's just going to lead to Janitor being able to get 3 here. I do have to say, though, can't get too excited. It is a pistol round for the side of C9 Academy. So, but, I mean, Dynamic's coming around for that lurk, and Dim Sum's coming around, too. Yeah, it's just looking like Mafia might just be able to come through, especially on this round. But C9 Academy has the rifles now, Ash.
They do. This is something I just want to point out. This is something that Mafia does really well. We saw it on Split. It's the occasional flanks and the pushes out. You can see the communication happening on the mini map. You can hear, not actually hear them, but it almost feels like I can hear the calls being made. Like, okay, I'm gonna push out, aggress through a lobby here, get this information. They're in window. Just distract them. I will, I'll walk up behind. I'll get these picks off. Or sandwiching action, whether it's like someone from C, someone from A. You have the aggression happening mid. Just a lot is going on, but it's coordinated and there's purpose to it. It's not just chaos that has like rhyme without reason. And it's something that I think Mafia just does very, very well with their synergy and their chemistry. Going into this round, though, it's going to be a slower round coming out from C9 Academy. They're just looking to get a bit of information, mostly a default play right now, and Mafia's just holding steady, holding strong like we saw on Split. last map. They do a very good job at just kind of anchoring their sights, not getting too greedy for the most part, especially when C9 is playing farther back.
I like how a lot of the utility for Mafia is just surrounding all of the sites. You don't see any site with no util. And I really like that. You see Killjoy utility on B and on A, helping out both sites. Not only that, but then those Astra Stars kind of surrounding to at least get some of that coordination in. But, I mean, right there coming through, that gravity well is going to be able to help. C9, of course, getting one, but it's a massacre coming down. C9 Academy cannot be able to hold this through, and Glyph is just going to be taken down by Dynamic. 6-9, Mafia being able to take this round in their hands is going to be huge, especially now C9 Academy doesn't have the economy for any rifles here.
Mafia did really well with that bonus, able to take down, you know, all of the guns and retain actually 3 of their own, picking up rifles off of the bodies of C9 Academy as well. We do see that Janitor, both initiators actually on Mafia, are a couple away from their ultimates, Janitor being 1 away from Seekers, and Webby is 2 away from the Hunter's Fury. It looks like we will be seeing, you know, fighting for this ult orb here. Janitor's just going to try and get this one, but Gravity Well is going to deny that for now, forcing them off, not able to contest that alt orb anymore, and Trailblazer is going to clear out short, and a quick rotation being called over.
Oh, Wobby knew that Poise was coming through with that dash, and I like what Poise is doing, getting that aggression onto sight, but it seems like it's just not gonna work. Of course, Mafia having the better angles, but Screwface getting the 2 picks needed, and right now that's gonna leave for some time. 1 minute on the board to be able to get that spike down. Screwface is not playing around right now. I like the utility drop here, Ash. Being able to get that utility down to play for that post plan here.
At first I was kind of wondering if Screwface was just taking too much time, you know, giving the opportunity to have that rotation come in to get pushed. But able to rendezvous away. We're actually going to see that Tour de Force as well. No risks are going to be taken, but Jerk is going to close out the round. Another round on the board for C9 Academy. They were not going to let this one go, considering, you know, that situation that they're in. Or not C9 Academy, sorry, for Mafia. They switched sides. I'm going a little bit crazy here. But the excitement still stands as far as everything goes. Really unfortunate that that Tour de Force did not connect, but we are going to see this timeout coming from C9 right now, revisiting things. I mean, folks, those who are at home who missed the first game, Mafia did take split 13-4. So if Mafia manages to take Haven as well, C9 Academy is out of the bracket, and Mafia will be moving on to semifinals. So C9 Academy is here to duke it out, try and get to map 3 on Icebox to keep their skin in the game a little bit longer. So we're seeing this timeout coming out, and I think they maybe need a mental reset once again. The C9 Academy started off really strong, Gompers, on the attacking side, or on the defensive side earlier on, and things are kind of falling apart a little bit now. They seem a little bit more frantic. Mafia caught up to them, and I don't think C9 Academy was necessarily anticipating that. And obviously they have to revisit their strategies a little bit more, considering that they did just lose quite a few rounds in a row, putting them in a really tough position. I mean, Mafia is 2 away from match point, and if C9 Academy does not win this particular round, they're going to be put in that ping pong economy with, you know, those buying every other round, saving every other round, and it's going to be hard, and it'll be almost a guaranteed match point for Mafia if C9 Academy cannot take a 7th round for themselves right now.
Well, I mean, C9, they did get the pick off Jet, but I mean, having that duelist down on the defense, it's not very impactful. They still do have a lot of that util that could possibly help with entry onto site, getting this retake through. But this is what we wanted to see from Mafia in the previous rounds when they were on the attack. We wanted to see them hold the site of B, knowing exactly how hard it is. But I mean, right now, Janitor is just going to be cleaning up like the janitor they are, mopping the floors with Poise. And Seekers is coming out, getting some information through. I mean, now, given that Seekers They do know that majority of the players are surrounding themselves around outside of B, holding themselves down mid, but Screwface with the operator just gonna be able to hold everything extremely well, getting that 3K down, and C9 Academy bringing out the operator on the attack. It's gonna work out pretty well.
That's what we needed to see from C9, or from Mafia on attack, trying to take B with those previous rounds on the other half. But, I mean, to be honest, I kind of questioned the lockdown that came out from Dim Sum Boy, considering the fact that, you know, if you've already pushed everybody off of B site, you know an operator is being held on grass there. It doesn't quite reach window. You can hold off people from, you know, holding those grass positions a little bit longer, but ultimately it's not that necessary. And Poise, with that updraft A lobby with the Blade Storm, is actually going to be annihilated by Dynamic right off the bat, putting C9 Academy in this 4v5 position. Wubby still gathering some information with that owl drone. It's not going to see anything, but C9 Academy has just cut noise and is slowly creeping up towards A long at the moment.
I've got your trail.
Oh, Screwface with that op is going to work out pretty. I like the operator for the post plant position. I don't know about the aggression onto site, but I like how C9 Academy know, you know, how to play their rounds to be able to at least isolate site so they can push through and have Screwface have that advantage, especially in the post plant coming out here. But now that this Cosmic Divide is coming out, it's just going to be 10 times harder for the side of Mafia.
Oh! Nice shot from Screwface. Oh, but Glyph is just hiding. Hell, you're able to get one, and just the synergy in that moment, all those peaks coming together. C9 Academy, I mean, obviously that timeout that they took allowed themselves to kind of gather their thoughts, reset, and be able to bring the chemistry back. We are going to see Blade Storm available in Dynamic hands, likely going to come out this round, and Jerk does have that Cosmic Divide. If we're able to see a Thrifty round coming out using it, but otherwise it'll likely be saved for the round afterwards, and C9 Academy is not ready to let this map go quite yet.
Ooh, two noises there because I was like, oh, this is really nice. Oh, never mind, it actually backfired because there was a crosshold being held with Screwface there. But right now Poise is trying to at least get onto site to close this out as fast as possible, and I like the A site takes. I mean, considering the fact that A site is one of the hardest sites on Haven, to kind of retake there, it is not going to be easy for Mafia to be able to get this through. I feel like C9 Academy also is reading very well into this. They know that this is the site that Mafia tends to, you know, not really do very well on for the retakes, and it's showing a lot, especially now that C9 Academy is kind of getting this retake down.
I think also over time, C9 Academy kind of just realized that, you know, Mafia tends to stack a little bit more C heavy versus A heavy. Usually a pretty default defensive kind of run, but oh, Janitor is actually going to be, you know, Poise. Nice that, you know, C9 Academy is being kind of held here for a little bit longer, but everybody is going to be able to ultimately save their guns, and everyone on Mafia is going to have to fall for that eco to be able to, you know, those who don't know, if you don't die and you're losing the round, you do get less credits to spend on your abilities and your guns the upcoming round. And
yeah,
that Cosmic Divide is going to have to come out from Jerk, though, I think, to either stall a site, especially if the stalling ability is not there as far as, you know, player power, manpower, the numbers, or utility, or just to use it to be able to secure that retake. But these aggressive jet dashes into short are, they either pano or they don't get too much. Oh, Dynamic there to respond to Poise, though, is going to take down their double, but I just don't like wasting the jet dash that early.
I mean, yeah, I guess it was good intentions to at least try to get out and, for, you know, avoid a trade or something. But Dim Sum's just going to be able to get this 4K straight through it, and it is just an annihilation for Mafia. This is huge. This is breaking the gap that has been happening. The iteration of back not even back and forth. The iteration of C9 Academy being able to take this through, and Mafia, they're going to be able to find their paving once again. And, I mean, it might just be able to lead them back on the right foot here.
The flick at the end onto Screwface's head, though, from Dim Sum Boy was insane. I mean, I truly cannot believe C9 Academy actually let Dim Sum Boy get away with that. Dim Sum Boy didn't even change their positioning whatsoever, held the same angle, and C9 Academy kind of just fed themselves, literally, to him one by one, and we see that aggressive dash once again onto site. Hunter's Fury is going to distract Jerk, and everybody's just going to be falling across site. It's a 4v3 situation like that, but Screwface, ready for that flank, is going to take out Dynamic.
I think it's become very, very known, especially to C9 Academy, that Dynamic tends to have that, you know, flank and that lure come around. But I mean, already Wubby, it was looking like Wubby might just be taken down, but that 30 health is not looking too good. That spike being planted, it's not going to allow Mafia to be able to get this one down. The post-plant positioning was just a little bit stronger, especially having that ratio, you know, being handed to them straight through. But C9 Academy, bringing it back. Mafia was able to get that one round here, Ash, but I mean, the operator, especially with Screwface, is just way too strong.
Mafia one away from match point. I mean, C9 Academy is looking to tie it up this round, considering that Mafia is going to be on this eco, but we have seen some pretty crazy ecos coming out. You know, thrifty rounds here and there. Dim Sum Boy also has that lockdown available, and especially paired with the Cosmic Divide could make for a really powerful retake play for Mafia, and it's going to be this kind of straightforward AC push once again. I like that Mafia is falling back, playing this retake as a team, but Dim Sum Boy is just going to be taken down through the Nebula. Unfortunate, considering that knockdown is no longer available now.
Yeah, I think the team retake is definitely exactly what Mafia needs. But, I mean, right now it does seem like Janitor's trying to get aggressive by themselves, and that's going to lead to a punishment coming through the smoke from Renz, and right now it is just a 2v4. It is very, very hard for Mafia to be able to get this retake through. I don't know how well this is going to work out, especially for Dynamic, maybe getting a couple, but Screwface is just going to close this off entirely with the operator. You know, I was wondering, why would you give a chamber to the operator? I was wondering that in the beginning of the rounds, but now that I'm looking at it, Ash, I'm going to be completely honest. It works so well. You can be able to leave your utility down in different positions. You don't have that dash, because that dash kind of gives away your location as it is, but you don't know where the chamber TPs. So having that down, you can at least reposition yourself to get another operator shot down, or you can leave the site or the scene just as much as Jet can. I think it works extremely well.
It does. I mean, like you said, it works. The rendezvous is in place of the tailwind, essentially, and with the hit of the Sentinel, you're able to play very similarly to a Jet player. And we have actually seen, I mean, we've casted several tournaments where we've seen, you know, these Jet players who actually have hopped on the chamber train just to try out the rendezvous, to be able to get away after those first points of contact, those first frags and whatnot. And I think it's interesting. C9 Academy is playing far back into their spawn right now, just kind of waiting for aggression to come out from Mafia. But Mafia always answers with patience when C9 Academy does this. You know, they don't tend to push out unless there is that call being made that C9 Academy is taking aggressive amounts of space. They're moving quickly onto a site. But when the pacing is slow, Mafia holds steady. They hold strong, and they have given up the A site time around. And I do think that is a great decision. Like we were saying before, we should be waiting and seeing if, you know, Mafia will play these retakes together as opposed to kind of just trying to stave them off one by one. That flank was very well done on the side of C9 Academy, and they're gonna have some really great timing too, I believe, especially if they move through B site. But no more flanks are going to come out, and it looks like all four of Mafia are going to be on site right now, but this lockdown.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I really like the retake that Mafia was planning to do, especially, I mean, it's just going down. I like the retake that Mafia was planning to do. They had a crossfold being held C. They had, you know, two players surrounding themselves down Garage and B, leaving only Wubby to be able to fend for themselves down A. But Wubby was on the outside. I don't know how well that works, though. I liked what they did previously. They had Killjoy utility on A and B, and then they had Astra util surrounding C and B and Garage. I think that worked out really, really well because it kind of held each and every site. It had that util to be able to at least give you that retake down. And I don't know exactly how well it's working out, leaving that util on certain sites and trying to guess what C9 Academy is going to be doing. Because, I mean, as we see it, they're already aggressing onto B, and nobody's on it.
Nobody's on it, but B is also the easiest site for the defenders to retake. We're seeing a lot of aggression pushing into A link here, trying to get these frags off, but a lot of damage being done by utility as well. And
Spike down.
C9 Academy sitting at match point here, 12 to 11, might just give Mafia this opportunity to tie things up, and that rendezvous is going to come out. Screwface still playing their life a little bit.
I mean, you heard it there. Chambers enjoying it. Has word of force, and that's going to be another one coming through. I think it's playing out really nicely here. That information is given. Oh, and there it is, another one. Wubby does know that Screwface is going to be peeking right around this corner, and I'm a little bit scared to see what's going to be happening. This hole is being held. Oh, and I mean, wide swing here would be fantastic from Wubby, but waiting for that second player to be coming around the corner is going to be huge, and that doubles peak is just going to be leading to that overtime.
Switching sides.
Ooh, I mean, we did call that this map was going to be a lot closer than Split. Split we thought was going to go the other way around, though. C9 Academy, we thought we would be taking the dub on that one, but Haven taking it to overtime now. Both Mafia wants to close it out, take it to semifinals, and C9 Academy wants another shot to keep their skin in the game. And the over-aggression into A-Link just really screwed over C9 Academy there. Taking that over-aggression into C-Link, just pushing in, dying to, the double peaks, dying to the utility pretty early on as far as things are concerned, and losing the spike in such a detrimental position as well. And Screwface fought up with that operator, decided to go glass cannon this time around, and it's going to be, your typical A split push hit this time from Mafia.
I mean, right now, whoever wins this definitely has the advantage, but if C9 Academy wins this, it might just go over to them, especially knowing how good they are on the attack. Mafia, though, they do tend to please on the defense, as they did kind of push through a little bit. It is attacker-sided, though, as we discussed, and it kind of shows. I mean, C9 Academy getting that retake down on the attack, it just shows how hard it is to be able to get this A site down. But you do see some util trying to be used here for some information. Astra util trying to dismember the team, maybe just a little bit, but C9 Academy is going to be pushing through with this gravity well, and I don't know how well it's going to work out. It does seem like C9 is at least being able to close this off in a 1v1 scenario. Renz does have 10 bullets in their weaponry. Dim Sum closing it out here with a 13-12. Mafia has to be able to pull it together for the defense if they want to close this off.
Match point.
Oh, things are looking tight, but like you said, C9 Academy was doing really well on the attacking side for the most part, but I mean, Mafia did start out their defensive rounds pretty strong, all things considered. Dynamic is going to go for that glass cannon operator as well, going for a similar play as Screwface did that previous round. We have swap sides again, folks. C9 Academy now on the attack. Mafia defending once again. It's going to be this B hit, and it's such a gamble considering, it's both gone very well and very poorly for both sides to be trying to get this B plant down.
Spike planted.
That shock dart almost hit Poise there, and it would have at least taken out that plant. Oh, but right there, Jerk's gonna be able to get one. That reposition has to come through, but I don't know how smart it is to be able to pull down and get into that astral form in a scenario where people are shooting at you. It was one of those pressure moments, but I mean, we already see that retake coming through. Gonna be able to get one. Dim Sum!
This flank is going to be huge, though.
Oh, and it's just closing it out. C9 Academy, Instinct getting that 3K. This, if Mafia is not able
Overtime.
to figure out what they need to do on the defense, I honestly, Ash, this might go to a third map.
It really might go to a third map. I'm nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous. I'm excited to see more gameplay, but I'm nervous for both teams. Like, it's neck and neck in overtime right now. I really thought Mafia was actually going to be able to take that round home, but the flank that came out was huge, as well as just all of the frags that run out. I do commend C9 Academy to actually be able to make that B hit successful this time around, and this glass cannon operator just missed the cross that 2 made over to the other side towards short. But, you know, Screwface is going to get that opening pick on Dynamic, rendezvous away, save their life, not have to worry about, you know, that reload as somebody else tries to swing you. And this default is going to come out Mafia. It's just taking it a little bit more slowly.
Ooh, yeah, just a very slow push here. Mafia does have 1 player off, so I mean, Ash, it's already not looking good for Mafia as it is. They're gonna have to figure out where they're going to go, but with this chamber util, especially, you know, in that corner, it might not look too good for the entry for Mafia on the A site. Screwface is holding this with an operator, although that flash is coming through. Not being able to buy that shield is going to be very good for for Mafia, but I don't know how well it's going to be for Screwface. Gonna be able to get one, that TP coming through. Well, 30 seconds left. Spike is going to be planted. Janitor's just completely
I've got your
just
trail.
plowing through everybody. Seeker's going to be able to give that information. Ash, it is looking pretty scary with this flank coming along from Lobby. It's going to be two really nice picks. This is unlosable. If Mafia can play this extremely well, holding these crossholds, or at least holding something that can work out. Yeah, right there. Janitor's going to be closing this off with the 3K. Mafia. I don't know. I mean, C9 might just be able to bring this back with the defense.
Mafia does so well with their flanks and just getting the timing off with the communication that they receive from both ends. It's just very phenomenally done. I mean, we saw the same kind of iteration of it the previous round, C9 kind of doing the same thing as themselves. I think Screwface did a really great job also, just being able to rendezvous away, play their life after getting these picks and not having to worry about that operator reload. But C9 Academy now on the attack once again. Mafia is going to be taking this aggressive stance towards grass, trying to push out, see some information. It's just going to be a really fast A hit coming out from C9 Academy. Wubby kind of defending by themselves, but a quick rotation has been called over already.
Oh, right there. It's just gonna be an annihilation from Mafia. And honestly, Ash, this is what they needed. They were able to hold that site, getting the masses just destroyed on C9 Academy, and that's just going to lead to the victory for Mafia.